is to be the sutler that associated with a particular troop. The other thing that I found interesting about the sutlery was that they actually, with this contract with the government, they could basically run a line of credit for anybody who was in that particular regiment or infantry. And if somebody owed the sutler money, the sutler had the right to claim money from the next payroll. So they were fairly well assured that they were going to get paid, but they often gave their sutler token in exchange for something, again, back to the loyalty card. If that's the only place you're going to be able to buy something, then this is the way that you get your the soldier to keep coming back to your little store.
I'm confused by traveling with the troop as opposed to traveling to the troops. I always thought that they were independent and would come in with fresh supplies, a wagon full of supplies.
I think that is correct, but they often would follow.
They would be with a particular troop?
Yes.
I didn't even know if I'm using troop right.
No, I think, let me just go one ahead here. This is a list of sutlers that actually were assigned to troops at Gettysburg, and I don't have the name of the sutler.
So they weren't just free to go anywhere they want?
I don't think so. I think that they actually, this shows like the 145th New York Infantry had a sutler assigned to it. Now, I don't know whether that same sutler served for 5 different infantries. I do not know that information. But the coinage on the right, it's very hard to see. But they were just, they're not artistic. They were kind of pounded out on the fly. If you need more, and you need 2, and you need a denomination of 2 cents, you just kind of make one. And so they had the sutlers' names. There was actually a sutler in Baltimore. I'm trying to figure out how that sutler got assigned to people or did not. But maybe he was a provisioner that provided for, as you're saying, if the sutler who was actually out there towards the field or in Gettysburg, they had to have a ready supply of where they got their materials from as well. But nonetheless, this was again specific to Gettysburg, and so each of these infantries or artillery divisions had sutlers that were associated with them to provide something for these particular troops. So this isn't out in here twice, it should have been, but anyhow, I still think that tokens are collectible as art, if nothing else. I think that the idea of the patriotic token has its own merits. But some of these are really cool, and you start looking at the different designs and you can start telling what the store was. The one on the right is from my hometown in Milwaukee, and you can sort of tell that somebody's selling honey, right? Yeah. These people were selling beer, so no mystery there. Keep on coming back.
And are they traded with coin traders? I mean, is that where, I've never seen one of these things.
I'm seeing them at coin shows, and we're seeing them on the internet a lot. But previously they had been sort of like this, unknown market. People really weren't interested in them because they didn't have, they had somewhat collector value, but it wasn't as relevant as collecting a U.S. currency or a particular denomination from a foreign country, for instance. So I don't think there are token clubs yet, but I think it'd be kind of fun to do the research on who were the people that either made them or what was this store. There was a very, very large token making company in the Milwaukee area, and I've seen that they have many different dyes that are attributed to them. They were the ones that did the Freeport Brewery, they did Blatt's beer and many different, so you can start seeing kind of a genealogy on the trade itself, the tradesmen. And many of these, based on the type of design, the design itself tells you who was the dye sinker. The other thing Rick had found for me in terms of how many towns produced tokens or how many vendors in the towns. Again, there's no registry of these, but somewhere we found that Cincinnati had 1,973 different identifiable token makers and token stores that have tokens issued. New York City had less. It actually was a little over 1,000. The third was Detroit with 700 and Milwaukee with a couple hundred. So heavily represented in the Midwest, with Cincinnati, and I had not appreciated Cincinnati for the robust city it had actually been during the Civil War. But in 1864, somebody said, this isn't workable anymore. We can't have this underground economy continuing. Sutlers were still permitted to operate because they had the special contract to be serving the troops. But it was actually considered a forbidden act to have a coin that was used as a coin. But even today, you know, you can get the wooden nickels out and have tokens of your appreciation, and we still think tokens are just kind of a fun part of the Civil War and could open the door for a number of different studies on, you know, what people made, what people traded, how people made a coin. And we would like very much to work with a die sinker and to create our own little local commemorative coin for something.
Sure.
I think it would be kind of fun. So that's the end of my story, and I'm going to turn it back over. If you want another break, bathrooms
No, thank you.
downstairs.